Welcome to John. Let me lower down that. Welcome to John Art and Portfolio Reviews. Today we have let me open your name so that I don't we have Robert. Robert requested a art review, and he says, I know I am omega bad at an anime. Although I try to make an anime face and add some realism to it, is there a way to make this work? What am I doing wrong? I often hear from random people something like, your paintings are too smooth fuzzy. Looks like an oil painting. I don't know what they mean by this, or what I lack. Overall tips of future painting appreciated. I'll help you. I'll help you right now. Okay, so you want help with balancing realism with like a style, right? So a balance between the two. Is there a way to make this work, or what am I doing wrong? I'll tell you in a second. And then you have, it's pretty much two questions. It's that, and your paintings look smooth, fuzzy, looks like an oil painting. The smooth or fuzzy thing is true, and we will help you with that. Again, this is not a paint over. As far as I'm aware, you're not a tier 2. Tier 2 subs can request paint overs, but you're tier 1, so you get a review. All right, so you want to focus on how to stylize or balance in your stylization between realism and, I guess, anime. And then you want to fix the fuzzy, soft look to your image. You forgot underscore John. Listen, I'm tired today. All right, so the way you balance styles in general, there's no guide. No one can really. It's not what I'm seeing right now is wrong, you know. So there's no again, many things in art. You can't really tell that it's wrong or not because it's all subjective. In your case, though, what you want to focus on when it comes to styles, or even when you're analyzing someone else's style, is proportions. That is the number one. The number one thing you want to focus on is proportions. The number two, almost as important as proportion, is shape. For example, yeah, I think it was yesterday, or was it today? People started posting on Twitter. Someone did like a paint over, or they adjusted the frozen fucking character's face, right? The frozen characters, they like adjusted it and according to their taste or whatever. And Twitter usually goes apeshit when this happens. The reason why I'm talking about it is because even small adjustments, I think the guy adjusted like the jaw and stuff like that, automatically made it look a bit, it made it look less stylized because of the shape and proportion of the, that's pretty old, right? Disney face reworks. I saw the posts today and everyone is just like, ah! But anyways, so in your case, what you want to look at is, for example, the shape and proportion of her head. It seems to be quite stylized in comparison to maybe other areas of the body. I would say that you have bigger problems than that. You did mention anatomy is not great, so I'm not going to really touch that much on it because you're already aware of the issues. But if you're going to simplify the face of a character, but not other areas of the character, like the torso, legs, etc., it will look, I feel like your image, the head and the body are two different characters. And it's mainly due to that. It's like, how do you simplify? This is a really heavy topic that honestly needs a lecture on its own, but I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to help you here. Here. The way is simplifying is like, let's say you have a complex structure. All right, I did a squiggle, right? And now you take something that looks complex or has a lot of detail to the surface, and you sort of remove some of that noise and you smooth it out. You see, it's literally simplifying, right? So what I want you to do is look at other people's artwork, or look at, honestly, just look at reference and try to, if you see all the little subtleties on the surface of a character, you want to minimize the surface detail into something that's a bit more iconic looking. So the more a shape looks iconic, the more stylized your image will look. That's why the head here looks, to me, looks different in style than the body, especially as you go to the legs. The legs seem to be more and more sort of like you're trying to do a more realistic take on it. Definitely, and again, I could be explaining this for the next hour. I should really point out that the fact that the shape of the face is so simple, it's like an acorn kind of shape, which is usually what's seen in a lot of anime. It's like an acorn head shape, especially nowadays more and more. But then everywhere else in your image, it becomes more and more complex, especially with like folds of the if you're gonna stylize a character, everything else should sort of follow suit, so that you have a pretty stylized character, and then the folds should also be stylized, meaning that maybe you shouldn't have as many tiny little wrinkles, and maybe the shapes should be broader and more defined, more iconic looking, which all that really means is just simpler in shape. Or the other way around. If you want to go a bit more realistic, then you add more surface detail, more changes to the outline. I'm just trying to explain the same thing, but like with different perspectives. I guess another way to explain it would be the silhouette of, let's say, her face could have a lot more indentation, a lot more surface levels, instead of like a smooth, simple shape to it. And the more you add to it, the real, the less stylized it will look. So you can kind of like balance according to your own taste, however much you want. Of course, no one can really tell you what style to do and what is the ratios, etc. Everyone is different, so this is something that it'll be up to you how you're gonna do that. But just know that those proportion and shape of the thing that you're drawing, like whether it's a head or any other limb in the body or clothing or hair or whatever, it doesn't matter. All will be affected by the same. All will be affected by shape and proportion. And the more you try to match it to the real world, the less stylized it will look like. And the opposite is true. The more simple, the more iconic you make it look, the more stylized it'll appear to us. And now for the second part of your question, so that's the style comment. Second part of the question was, let me open it up. It was about the soft. Yeah, I often hear from people something like, your paintings are too smooth, fuzzy, looks like an oil painting. It doesn't look like an oil painting to me. I do think you have much bigger issues, like your colors are way like way over, your values and your colors are way overblown. I know you're trying to go right now. It looks like she set the house on fire and she's just chilling, you know, because of how saturated the colors. And I get what you're trying to do. It's like you're probably trying like a sunset, a cute sunset image, but right now it's reading a bit like a creepy, I just burned your house, crazy girlfriend. No one will have you but me kind of picture. It's not a glowing girl. No, these are curtains here. She's definitely on the bed. And yeah. So, but anyways, the soft fuzzy thing, actually the colors help with that, but I feel like you're using too much soft brushes. So here's the thing with soft brushes. I use soft brushes all the time. Like soft gradient-like brushes. The issue with them is that when you don't know how to use them, it's very, very, very easy to make everything look like it's a gradient. The world isn't just a gradient. There's a lot of gradients. There's a gradient in everything in existence. You can look around your room. Even on the flattest surface, you see a gradient because like light bulbs and this light strength and all that. Everything has a gradient. However, equally, everything also has hard edges. No matter what you look, as long as your eyes aren't fucked, whatever you look at, it has a sharp edge. Right? So I can see what you're trying to do, where the silhouette in some of these areas, like the head, like her titties and like the leg and stuff, I see that you're using a lasso tool to give that sharpness to it. The issue is that it's not only sharp on the silhouette, on the outside of a silhouette of I don't know. I'll grab here's my cocaine medicine. So when you look at this here, right, clearly the edge of this bottle thingy is sharp, but on the inside of the silhouette, there's also other parts that are sharp as well. And I feel like you don't really understand when the surface shifts either towards or away from the light source. There is a gradient, and it does become, it's like a soft gradient, but there is still sharp edges. Now, I can't really explain what I'm trying to say to you in just words. Hopefully, you know what I'm talking about. But like, for example, the leg here. Oh, actually, perfect. The shoulder here. The shoulder isn't just one gradient. You see a little where the bone pops out. You probably see a little harder edge there. There's like creases. There's a lot of creases here and there. Also, you should focus on... I feel like you would improve or you would fix this problem if you focused more on... I forgot the word in English. Well, I guess edges, but you know, like in oil painting, you have a sharp edge, semi sharp or semi soft, and then you have lost edges. That learn that. just be good at that. No, like definitely practice what should look like a soft edge, what should look like a semi-soft edge. Right now, it seems like your edges are either kind of like they're generally soft or just sharp. There's no like in between. There's a couple of lost edges here and there, but I feel like it's way too much, man. Yeah, I feel like it's way too much. Again, I feel like some of these issues is that you due to you not understanding anatomy, you don't know where is hard, where it's soft in the body, where usually you see the bigger gradients, because there are places in the body that it's like overall it tends to be like smoother, or for example, foreheads in chat. Foreheads, generally speaking, are kind of soft with a sharper edge where the bone is, if you know anatomy. But the general first impression is that they're kind of gradient-like, although that's not 100% true, because you have bony areas and shifts in planes on the forehead. But the first impression is that. While probably if you're looking at elbow, elbows always look sharp, again, generally speaking. So I feel like the more you'll understand about anatomy, the more you will know where to place a soft or hard or semi-soft or a lost edge when you're painting. Right. The last thing... So that's the thing about edges. I feel like you're going to... and also the colors that you're using help that effect. Like the glowy, you're using like a color dodge, it seems. And you go too saturated and you go too bright, but also you go too dark, right? So like her face is almost as bright, if not as bright as the window here. But then it goes really fucking dark. Like under the bed, next to the bed. I'm not really sure where this area is. So you're going too bright, too dark. That's the generic, we see this problem all the time in digital, and that's just something. It's very easy to go really bright and really dark in digital, while traditional, you actually have to make an effort to do that. What else? I mean, I'm not going to touch on the anatomy because you already pointed out that you are seeing issues, and that's something that you just need to get better at. But I feel like, based on what you asked, that's all I can really help you with. And yeah, practice your forms. I feel like if you focus on the form and you use reference, please use reference, and you focus on the form, you'll see that not everything is like very soft. There's definitely like sharper edges throughout everything in existence. So so that concludes. There you go. That concludes this art review. Don't forget, chat, tier 1 subs can request art and portfolio reviews. Tier 2 subs can request paint overs. All of this is recorded and put into a neat playlist here on Twitch under the video section. Free for everyone to watch. And join Discord if you haven't, because that's where you need to post your art review questions. So, see you on the next one. Bye-bye.